Hey guys, so today we have another episode of Guild Wars, but before we start, I just wanted to go over a team that people have been asking me about. They see me do all these YOLO Dragons team, and I usually have a Galleon or a Verd or a Poseidon or a Hua, and some of you guys don't have those monsters. And last week when I was streaming, I was tasked with forming a team of a Speed Dragons team that essentially it's obtainable. Okay, I'm not gonna say farmable because you can't exactly get, there's no place that you can just keep farming and get a Megan or something like that or whatever. But again, it's fairly easy to get them. I know some of you guys might have trouble getting Megan as a free-to-play player, but just pop a whole bunch of unknown scrolls, pop your dailies, eventually you'll get her. And I mean, I consider most 3 stars and below that are elemental to be, obtainable. And then people are gonna say, oh well, Mars isn't obtainable. Dude, if you join a guild, I promise you that eventually, over time, like, I'm not saying it's gonna be your next Ifrit, I'm not saying it's in the next 3 Ifrits, but eventually there's a 1 in 3 chance every time that you get an Ifrit. Alright, and yeah, for me, I know from experience because it took me a really, really long time to get Mars. But other than that, these monsters are all obtainable, and the thing isn't that this is like, I don't want to trick you guys into thinking that this is a team that everyone can just build right then and there, and this is the key to success. I just wanted to show you guys that this is something that is possible, because a lot of people complain that they don't have Verd, and Verd is, so my thoughts when building this team is that I do need some form of attack bar manipulation. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the speed and attack bar manipulation buff from Bernard, and then at the same time I'm also getting a attack bar manipulation from Spectra, which she is decreasing the attack bar. And then I know that for a fact my immunity is going to be going up on that boss. So what I did was I brought Megan thinking that I could remove buffs. And the nice thing too is that I have Mars, which does, it happens to armor break if I get the chance. And as you can see, it's always really close, but this is a YOLO team. I don't have a healer on here, and this is how we farm our, what is this, Dragons B10. Alright, so we'll give it another run just to show you guys that it is fairly stable. And I mean, it does derp sometimes. Sometimes you get Megan not removing buffs, sometimes you get Spectra missing the slow, etc, etc. But again, I'll show you guys the runes after this. And pretty much, I mean, what it really comes down to, guys, is your runes. And you guys have probably heard this from everybody before. You've heard it from Barian, Farm Better Runes. You've heard it from your next favorite YouTuber or streamer. But it's really what it comes down to. Do you have enough speed? Do you have enough HP? Do you have enough damage? A big thing that people neglect too, you always hear, does my unit have enough speed? And you're like, or let me look at it. Okay, it does have enough speed. And then it comes down to, does my unit have enough HP? And I say, well, looking at it, yeah, it does have enough HP. And then they say, well, I'm still failing and I have the speed and I have the HP for it. But then if you're doing a YOLO team, what you have to realize is that you need sufficient enough damage, because as you know, the dragon gets stronger as it gets closer to death. And if you're not able to finish it off immediately and you take too many hits to the face from the boss, you're gonna die regardless. Alright, so basically you need to have enough damage output. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Dragons team as far as the thoughts behind the team that we use. We did a whole variety of teams, and what we're finding now is that post raid we're really able to customize a lot of these teams, because a lot of these units can get the stats that weren't available to the general public before, because of the fact that with raids you get so much more extra stats. You know what I mean? You get more defense, you get more HP, you get more speed, and you can get all those stats on the units because of the fact that you can enchant, and then you can also buff your unit, if you know what I mean, right? So it looks like my Spectre is dying, and that's probably because I'm not doing enough damage from the rest of the team fast enough, and I have a fairly squishy Spectre. So that's all I really wanted to show you guys today as far as the Dragons team. Let's get into Guild Wars. I actually have 2 Guild Wars today. So this one right now, I'm recording live, and I see a couple of faces. I want to hit up Obi-Wan, and the reason I say that we have another Guild War is because I recorded one in the AM. I actually recorded one in the morning, right? And usually, like I've told you guys this before, if I record something in the morning, I don't usually record in the morning because it's usually at like 4 in the morning, and then I go to school. But last night I ended up falling asleep during a raid, and I ended up napping for like 7 hours, and I ended up waking up at 2 in the morning, and I had to get ready for school at 5 in the morning. So my Guild War starts at 4 in the morning, and I was still up, so I had an hour to kill, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to record it, but since my fiance was sleeping, I didn't want to wake her up, so I recorded it, but I didn't have any, there's no live input. So right now this is live, and the one afterwards is actually, it's recorded. So I'm just going to give you guys like, feedback and whatnot. So for the first team, what do I want to do? I think for the first team, I want some sort of tank. I might have to go and reach for my tanks, or I might just grab my aerial, maybe arena, and then maybe a wind golem, and then see how that works out, right? Okay, so for the first team, and the reason I'm hitting up Obi-Wan is because I know him from the Twitch and YouTube streamers group. Alright, so I actually want to use some water units on the bottom team, so I'm not going to go all in with that. I think I'm going to do this, and then what do I want to do? Maybe this, and just out-sustain him. And then for second team, I'm going to use this, and this. Alrighty. So Tiana does her thing as usual. Wow, that's really damaging. I'm surprised, because the last time I checked, I didn't realize that Obi-Wan had so much damage going on. Alright, so it looks like he's fine in the damage department. It's just that his HP is on the lower side, so I'm able to take advantage of the fact. See, I'm not using armor break here. I remember when we were fighting the last time, maybe a month or 2 ago, he was fighting us on stream. It was either he wasn't doing enough damage, or he wasn't putting out enough HP. But it looks like we're fine. We did lose our wind golem in the process. That is unfortunate. I thought that my wind golem would be able to live regardless of being defense broken or not because of his passive, but that's fine. Alright, so for team 2, and I brought Orion because I'm looking to remove will runes / immunity, but it looks like this is a slow Vela, so it might actually be a damage Velagel because I'm seeing that it's slow. So let's pop it, and it looks like we can, before the immunity comes up, we can kill him. Yo. And then next I'm gonna go take care of Darien, because Darien provides that armor break and he can allow Perna to just go absolutely ham, and we don't want any of that. So here we can just auto. And this week is kind of weird. We're getting all kinds of guilds that we never fought before on offense. So I actually like reset week because we don't have to face the same, you know, top guilds every time. It's kind of different for us. We're able to fight new guilds and experiment, and of course the defense successfuls and draws are always nice for guild points and stuff. So that's Obua newbie, and then looks like all the +3s are all dead anyway, so we're gonna have to go for some +2s. I'm gonna hit up this guy Ignine Green, whatever his name is, and then for team 1 I'm gonna use I'm gonna use a Sierra Bernard Chassoon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that. And then for the bottom team, let's go ahead and use our Raok. The video I had below, the video that's below, or not below, but the video that's gonna come after this is actually, it was actually filmed before, right? Because this is the PM War, and then I showcased the Raok that I built. So I kind of wanted to use him. Oh, someone's attacking. Oh well. This guy is the most HP of the green towers anyways, right? Oh no, and there's will runes. I didn't expect, I'm gonna be completely honest guys, I didn't expect this guy to have will runes, and this could be a problem. Don't go for Sierra. Oh no, this is bad. Oh, dang it, I think we're gonna lose this. Can we come back? Can we come back from this? This is actually pretty scary. You know what the thing is, Kit? So when you fight certain guilds that like are lower ranked, and the players are maybe like, and I face this in arena as well, like if you fight players that are like, let's take arena for example, that are in like lower guardian, and say you're a G3 player, sometimes you find, like for me personally, I find guardian 1 a lot harder than say guardian 3, and that's purely because of the fact that, you know, when I face them, the teams aren't speedy, they're actually slower, but the players in that ranking choose to go tanky instead of like really fast and trappy. So when you try to speed clear them, you're unable to speed clear them, which is what my team is tuned to do, you know what I mean? And then like for these guys, for example, they're not particularly fast, but it looks like their damage units are, you know, they actually put a lot of damage into their damage units, you know what I mean? It's like a Theomars, instead of making them hella fast, they're just putting like a load of attack and crit damage, and that guy is hitting hard. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but yeah. Alright, so team 2, I'm gonna go ahead and use Elsa, or should I use Elsa Poseidon? Maybe I'll use my other Elsa, my shield Elsa, and then we'll use Poseidon because of the Orion that's over there. And then for team 2, okay, do we think he has will runes or not? I'm kind of scared, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna Randy Copper this. Where are you? There we go. I really hate Molly. I really hate Molly. Oh, that's nasty. See what I mean? That Perna just crit my water unit, and I hit hella hard. Okay, so do we think that this Molly's gonna make us glance all over the place? Okay, so we got the Perna. Can we finish off the Molly with with this. Let's see. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna try and finish off with that. And then now that we don't have any molly, we can just hit these guys freely and do the damage. And I'm a lot quicker than this Perna. It's really damagey but not speedy. And there's no way for these guys to remove any will runes. So what I'm gonna do on this team is I think I'm gonna go for, I think I'm actually gonna go for Sierra first. She's nasty. And then we'll just go on Theomar's next. I didn't check if he had will runes because that generally means that he's not on revenge, but it's too late now, so I'm gonna try and stun. No? Alright. Alright, so we popped Endure. We're gonna go on the Bernard now. Oh. At this point I don't care if I lose Chloe because it's my... Wow, that's a fast Bernard, right? Or was it really... Was it a violent Bernard? Okay, so we just finish this off now. It's pretty autoable. Okay, so my teammates, my guildmates can applaud me. This is the second team this week that I coppered. Second team. I'm getting better, okay? I'm getting better. Alright, so let's go ahead and buy a scroll. I just want to show you guys, I told you guys yesterday about me saving scrolls, and I'm pretty proud. I think that by telling you guys that I'm saving scrolls, it kind of keeps me in check because I don't normally save my scrolls. And if I tell you, my viewers, that I'm saving scrolls, then I don't want to lie to you guys. So I'm at a fire scroll, a wind scroll, and 6 mystical scrolls. And again, this is all just from either farming raids, from secret shop, or from dungeon drops. Okay, and not guild shop, but I mean, excuse me, guild shop, but not glory shop. But anyways, that was it for the Strargazing guild. I'm gonna end it here now, and going forward we're gonna go with the next guild, which is a funny guild. And again, this is gonna be a voiceover, so I'll catch you guys in a few moments. Alright, so we are back, and today we're facing a guild that I've never faced before, but their name is Bomber'sWrath, and they all have pictures of bombs on them, and it doesn't look like any of these guys have bombers, so I'm assuming that there's some sort of fan club, kappa. But like I said, this was recorded at around like 4 in the morning my time. So basically what I wanted to do here for the first team is, I see that there's Galleon, some sort of buff removal, and then their main DPS being Zyros. Generally, most Tritons are built HP, excuse me. So I see the main threat as Zyros, then Galleon, and then Triton. So of course, if I'm able to shoot down the Zyros, then it's not a problem at all for me. And it looks like the Triton is focusing on my Theo, so I have to be wary of that. And that was basically the first team. Second team, what I really wanted to do was, like I said in the video, or the guild war that was prior to this, I just built a Rogue. And the main reason I wanted to build the Rogue was I wanted to use, I don't have a fire armor breaker in Guild Wars other than Tasarion, and he's just built tanky. I wanted a damage dealer because I noticed that I'm really low on fire damage dealers. And then I also want to play around with him in Necro, so I actually built him. And then I used YDCB's build with 5 or 3 revenge sets, and it works out pretty nice. I have him really slow so that when I use him with Chloe, as seen here, he actually keeps the immunity for a couple of turns. Again, this is not my build, this is YDCB's build, but it works really nice. And here's my first time, like literally my first time using him PvP. So I'm just kind of learning how to use him. Oddly enough, I've never actually owned a rogue before this. I mean, I've got rogues, you know, from like dungeon drops and stuff, but I've always foddered them. I wasn't in the camp of building Rook as my first farmer. And as you can see, he does really good damage on that first skill. And again, oddly enough, I don't have skill ups on him. He has like 1 or 2 skill ups, so he's missing out on a lot of damage, but he's still doing quite nice damage. And I think once I figure out his you know, how to use him correctly and I get him all skilled up, I think he's going to be really formidable in Guild Wars. And I really want to team him up with a Chasoon and either a Fire Nuker or, you know, just someone else to pair up against, maybe against fire teams, and just bringing Chasoon so that she tanks the fire units. But I am really liking Rogue so far, and like I said, the build that YDCB uses is the slow build where you don't add speed and just a whole bunch of revenges, so you can kill on the revenge skill. So what I actually did was I was able to utilize a lot of these runes that I have that don't have speed, that have really good substats. So the other day I was in 65 and people saw me powering them up, and the substats on them were pretty insane. There's like high HP, really high crit rate and crit damage and attack, but just no speed, and that works out perfectly because it's an all revenge rogue with no speed. Alright, so for this team, what I want to do is just outspeed them from the beginning, and this is a common defense you're going to see with Vermos, Chasoon, and Theomars. And in general, if I have a feeling that if I'm just looking at the attack bar, when I start the match, if I see that the Chasoon is on the speedy side, or if I'm taking the first turn and I look at the attack bar and she's relatively low, then I know that she's on the tanky side. I don't want to bomb her. If I see when I start the match that the Chasoon is pushing close to 200 speed, in most cases she's gonna have speed on slot 2. There have been some odd cases where I've seen like my guildmate Cully was running a 200 speed Chasoon with triple HP, which is just absolutely insane, right? So that was, you know, you have to be wary if you're gonna bomb something, because especially with a Theomars team, you have to choose if you want to deal with Theomars first or the Chasoon. And Chasoon is really dangerous when you're fighting it, because you're essentially wasting turns trying to get either the monster killed or Chasoon killed, and if she heals them back up, then you're back at square one. So I used the same team here, and what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to get some kills going. Rogue is really nice when you have a whole bunch of guys low as well, because when you use him, he just goes on a killing spree, right? So I haven't quite figured out at this point that the team up isn't, I don't know if I'm, you know, I'm not well experienced with Rogue, but it seems to me that his first skill is just a lot better. I don't really like teaming up unless I have like some big nuker, like say I'm using him with Kumar or something. But personally, I feel like that first skill just has, like, I don't check the multipliers on stuff, right? I just use the guys, or if I hear that the guy has a high multiplier, like say Poseidon or something, then I'll test it myself. But I have no idea what his multiplier is on there or what's going on with Rogue, but when he hits, it's freaking hard. Like, look at that. That's chunking damage and there's no armor break. So I might sound like a noob here because I've never owned a Rogue, but look at that. On revenge, like, this guy's gonna destroy this this Jolton. Look at that. And then he gets an extra turn. It's gross. Really gross. So overall, I have to say I'm pretty happy. I know it's kind of weird for me as a late game player. I consider myself late game. For me to come back and build a Rogue when this should have been a monster that I built from the very beginning as a farmer. I was fortunate enough early on to get units such as like Lucian, and I completely disregard. I always thought that it was like a newbie monster, and with the advent of raids and Necro, I'm sorry, my dogs, every single time I'm recording, they always go crazy. But anyways, I'm I have to say I'm pretty pleased with Rogue. So I can't really see a problem with building him. If, like, you know, other people have said in the past, if you don't have a farmer, I think that he's really, you know, really good. But next up, we have this team, and what I really want to do for team 2 is I think I can use, you know, like I was talking about earlier, I want to pair up Kumar with Rogue, right? So that when I do my team up, it punches, and maybe I can boost my crit rate if I crit with Kumar, and then it's just overall just a lot of damage. And I went with the same team here, with the risk going in that they might have low runes, but I was fortunate enough to not be exposed to an all will rune team. This looks like my boy Big J from Kindred Saints. It looks like his defense. Only thing, when I face him, he always has all will, and then I always draw to him. So this was a little easier for me. Alright, so right here, what I'm doing is I'm buffing early on, and it would be really nice if, you know, I can get a revenge proc from Rogue and then have him, you know, get an armor break on and then start teaming up with people. But that wasn't the case. I think that was a misplay that I just did with the heal block. I should have actually punched first so that I get my crit rate up. I try to make it a point in Guild Wars to punch, or even in Arena. I always try to make it a point to punch so that I get my crit rate up, and then from there on I can go with the fight, and I'm essentially fighting at plus 30 speed on Kumar, right? Or plus 33, 32 speed, whatever it is. So that was kind of a misplay there, and it does put you at a disadvantage because your beast monks in general are slower units, and you want to get their speed up. So as you can see, I did crit right there, and now my speed's buff, and I should have done that from the beginning. Healing here isn't the best thing because my Rogue already has the attack buff, and he already has the heal block on, and the healing wouldn't do anything for him. And this Lisa just goes mad and wipes out one of my units, so it looks like there's no coming back from this, right? So Rogue just shows that you can carry the game away, and he does that thing where he gets an extra turn, he procs on the Darien, and luckily, since I had an armor break on Kumar, the fire units end up targeting Kumar instead of Rogue, and I have two options here. I can heal or I can punch. And this is a deciding moment. You can see I'm trying to decide what I should do. And I go with the heal. And I go with the frag on Lisa. And I do get that extra turn. Rogue is dead, but he did his job. And I know that in a one-on-one scenario, in general, I can beat most other Kumars, especially if he has a heal block and he's forced to use his heal. So that was it for Bomber's Wrath. And I know that, like, earlier, see, I'm back. This is live mode again. I know earlier I told you I have my ADHD. I told you I was going to show you guys the runes for the monsters for that farmable, obtainable Dragons B10 team. So here are the stats. Like I said, I don't expect you guys to have the stats or the runes. I'm just, the whole point of the team was to show you that the units are farmable, and or you could do it with a farmable team, etc., etc. So speed, HP on Megan, if her rune isn't maxed. Alright, so those are her stats. And then moving on, we have Theomars. These are his stats. My Theomars is really just a not well ruined unit, to be honest. Look at him, he's low HP, his crit rate is awful. Moving on, we have Tark. Tark is a unit that is used in a lot of Dragons B10 teams. Speed, crit damage, attack. These are his stats. Spectra. Speed, crit rate, accuracy. These are his stats. And then Bernard. Speed, HP, and defense. And I think that was it, right? Him, and Megan. Yep. So that was my Dragons B10 team, Farmable. I know I'm all over the place. I'm really bad at editing too, so I'm just recording as we go along. I recorded my video and then I inserted the AM Guild Wars, and then now I'm going back to do the rune stuff. So I hope you guys don't mind. There's the guy, Jubaggle. He's a schizophrenic gamer. I should change my name to ADHD gamer because I have some really bad ADHD. But before I get carried away, as always, if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.